Hey guys, so it's your girl C Dot, and I am back with a review of season 3, episode 4 of Insecure. This week's episode is called Fresh Like. Let me get comfy. This episode really was fresh. This was a really good episode. I know I missed week 3. I had so much going on last week, so I decided not to review, but I'm back now. So let's just get right into it. The Bobby Brown story is coming on tonight. Definitely taping that on my DVR. The New Edition story re-aired today, so I put that on my DVR too. But it's like 9 o'clock. I don't want to miss much of Bobby Brown, but I will rewind everything I missed. But let's get into Insecure. We can talk about Mr. Bobby Brown, the king of R&B, a little bit later. So let's get into it. So Issa, when we start the episode, Issa is in the mirror rapping, because y'all know she thinks she is Queen Latifah, MC Light, whatever, right? So she's in the mirror rapping, and she gets a knock at the door, and it's Daniel. So Daniel comes, and he's bringing her the rest of her stuff that was at his place. And so, you know, they have this awkward exchange. And she's about to say, you know, thank you for everything. And he's like, you know, you don't have to do that. It's cool. So you could tell there's still something there. But I think in episode 3, Daniel kind of crossed the line where Issa was trying to be there for him and trying to be supportive of his aspirations to be this producer and everything. And he was being a real ass about it. So they had a little tiff, and then that's when Issa decided she has to get her own place. So now we see her in her own place. So Daniel's leaving, and Molly, he meets Molly as he's leaving. And you know Molly is that girlfriend that's like, you did my best friend wrong. I don't have no words for you. So Molly's like, bye, Daniel. So he leaves. Then her and Issa are in Issa's new place. Molly brings her a couple gifts. She brings her a foam mattress, because I guess Issa does not have a bed. She brings her a mattress. She brings her a cactus plant. And she brings her a Hennessy. Everything you need to settle into your new place, right? Somewhere to sleep, a plant to make it feel like home, and some Henny. I'm not a dark liquor girl. I prefer tequila, but I digress. So they are there having girl chat. So Molly starts going through Issa's things, like, you need to get rid of this, this, that. Like you said, you want a new start. Get rid of all this old stuff. And Issa's like, I like that. Lawrence made me that CD when we first got together. And Molly's like, bruh, you said you want a new start. So Issa's like, okay, I can part ways with it. So later on, we see Molly at home in her bed with her dog, looking over at Dro's side of the bed, because we know she missing Dro. So she's looking like, okay, let the dog come in, because I'm legit chilling here by myself. So then Issa, she's going back through her things, and she's like, I'm going to go ahead and keep this stuff. These things are sentimental. So the next day, we see Molly at her job. And Molly is still trying to settle into this new position. So I feel like Molly left her old position because she felt like she wasn't respected as a black woman. Well, she goes to work for this black firm, and she's not the only smart black person at the firm. And that bothers her. It bothers her that she's not the superstar, which she talks to her therapist about a little later on in the episode. Okay, so now we also see Issa at work. Frida comes up to her and says, hey, we got the okay that you can go ahead back out in the field. And Issa she's ecstatic. Like, yes, I'm back. I'm back. So she goes out for lunch to get tacos. And who does she run into but fine-ass Nathan? So she runs into Nathan, and she drops her taco, and they spark up a conversation. And he's like, oh, party lift. Is that you? So they spark up a conversation. He orders some tacos. It's going to be an hour wait for tacos. And so he's like, well, what are we going to do while I'm waiting for these tacos for an hour? and they decide to go on a tour of LA. So while they're walking and talking, we find out that Nathan is from Houston. He's a barber, and he is a transplant. He came to LA after the floods in Houston. So they are walking and talking, and Issa is showing him around Leimert Park and some of the other areas in LA. So Issa and Nathan happen upon Issa's childhood home, and she tells him, well, let me backtrack. Before that, while they're walking, Nathan said, tell me something about yourself. Tell me about what was your last relationship. So she tells him about her and Lawrence, and she tells him how they were together for 5 years and they broke up. And then she tells him that she cheated on him. So he's like, that was really honest. So I feel like, you know, he's intrigued by her at this point. And so then they go up to the house, and she's telling him about her childhood and how her parents got divorced and they lived in this neighborhood, and he's calling her bougie. So now they go into the backyard, and there's a pool, and they're playing truth or dare, and he gets undressed and he jumps in, and he tells her to come and jump in too. So now it's like this whole vanilla and chocolate thing going on. And the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, is this house vacant? Like, are y'all really in somebody's pool in broad daylight? Like, what's really going on here? See, Issa, this is why she ends up in the situation she ends up in. Because, one, you were on lunch, so you just got redemption from your job that you like but you don't like. So they give you the opportunity to be back in the field. You say you're going to go to lunch. She's supposed to meet with her supervisor. She lies and calls her supervisor and tells her she's sick because now she's out on a field trip with Nathan. This is how Issa always gets herself in these situations. So they're in the pool and they're having this moment. And she said to him, tell me something about yourself. So that's when he tells her that, you know, he always wanted to go to LA and he decided to leave Houston after the floods. And now he's here. And so she starts telling him about how she has this book of raps. And she wanted to be a rapper and she really loves music. She's passionate about music. And I think he asked her, does she like her job? And she's like, you know, I like it. I would love to do some other things with it. And she said she wanted to bring music to the job, to the kids that she works with. And he tells her that she should. Like, he's encouraging her. You should do that. It seems like you're passionate about it. You should do it. And I think that makes her think about the things that she's sacrificing. So they're in the pool having this moment. Meanwhile, let's talk about Molly. So Molly goes to her therapist and she's telling her therapist, I'm at this new job. I'm not the superstar. I don't think I like it. Like, I just can't find my way here. And her therapist is trying to figure out, why is it that you feel like you have to be the superstar? Like, what is that all about? And she says, well, after the situation with Dro, I just feel like I want to be all I can be. And her therapist is like, who, ma'am? With who? So she's like, who is Dro? And Molly, cat got your tongue? Like, who's Dro? Another woman's husband. So I would be curious to know how the rest of that conversation went with her therapist when she said, who's Dro? Because Molly was just like, oh, guess I'd have messed up. So, well, I'm sure they're going to bring that back up again. So Molly's at work, and there are two other black females in the office, and there's this guy who's like a show-off, and, you know, they want to befriend Molly now, because Molly's like, you know, why is he so gotta be front and center in the meetings? So the other two ladies are like, yeah, that's how he is. Don't worry about it. So they are forming this relationship with Molly. Well, later on, we see Molly has this beautiful form-fitting blue dress on. I mean, it was hitting every curve of her body. It had an external gold zipper. That dress was everything. And they were like, Molly, we want to meet with you later on. And she's like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that. And yet, now she's going into this guy's office. So they're looking like, oh, that's how it is. So now, again, she's going to be on an island by herself when it comes to these other women in her office, because Molly is very competitive. And while I feel like those ladies were trying to befriend her, Molly, she doesn't want to make friends at work. She just wants to, she wants to be on top. She wants to be the shining star. And I think she wants to do that at any cost. So I'm interested to see also how this is going to play out throughout the rest of this season. So back to Issa and Nathan naked in these people's pool in the middle of the day. So finally this white guy comes out and he's like, honey, call the cops. So both of them get out and they run, and Issa falls in the grass, and it's so daggone funny. So they go back to Issa's place, and no, they pick their tacos up. And they pick their tacos up, and Nathan's like, these are probably cold now. And Issa's like, wow, we could go to my place and warm them up. I have a microwave. I'm like, look at you, Issa, trying to have an afternoon booty call. Issa, last week you were just humping with Daniel. Now, Issa, girl. So they go back to her place, and they are vibing, eating the tacos, and just having this another moment like they had at the pool. So Nathan leans in to kiss her, and there's a knock at the door, and it's the weird so there's a knock at the door, and it's one of the tenants in the building, because Issa is the what do you call it, building manager for this building. That's how she got her place. So it's the little boy like, my mama said you changed the locks on the door. We can't get into our apartment. And Issa's like, wait, I'll be back. You messing up my mood. I was getting ready to get some in the middle of the afternoon, little boy. What are you doing here? So Nathan is like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and leave, but I'd love to do this again sometime. See, I told y'all after episode 1 that Nathan was going to be a recurring character on this season, and I knew him and Issa were going to hook up somehow. So, y'all think Nathan is going to be Issa's new boo? I don't know. Are you team Nathan or are you team Daniel? I like Daniel. I'm partial to chocolate men, so of course I like Daniel. But Daniel got a lot of stuff with him. Daniel and Issa have history, but Nathan, he brings this kind of newness, this kind of freshness, like the title of this episode implies, fresh-like. And as we see at the end of the episode, Nathan has sparked something in Issa, because the next day, Issa goes back to her job, and she's looking around, and you can see her scanning the room. All of her counterparts are white. I feel like she's looking like, I'm not really adding value here. I'm not really excited about the work that I'm doing. This is all the things that I'm imagining she's saying to herself. And she just says to Frida, I can't do this anymore. I quit. And I was so proud of Issa in that moment, because I felt like she made a really adult decision at that time. Now, can she really afford to be unemployed? Probably not. Probably not. She don't even have no furniture in her place. But she's got her little Lyft gig. She has reduced rent because she's the property manager. I think it was really a smart move and an adult decision for her to do something that makes her happy and leave that job, because she was just a placeholder there. I don't know. I wonder how that's going to play out. I wonder how the situation with Molly and her job is going to play out. Like, is she going to survive at this firm where there are plenty of brilliant black attorneys there, where she's not the only one? She was the minority at her old job. Now she's within the majority, and everybody is smart. Everybody is trying to be on top. Everybody is on top of their game. So I wonder how that situation is going to work out with Molly. Is Issa, did she really leave We Got Y'all? I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see for next week. The previews were very funny. So they're going to Coachella. I forgot to mention that her and Nathan talked about they're going to Coachella. Lord, and Kelly got edibles. I can't wait to see that. Next week's episode is going to be hilarious. They went on a girls trip before, and that was one of the best episodes. I think that was in season 1. So I'm excited to see next week's episode. Let me know what you guys think about. Are you team Daniel or are you team Nathan? Let me know in the comments below. I can't wait to see what kind of shenanigans they get into at Coachella. Alrighty. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe to my channel. Oh, I uploaded a video about talking about fear and overcoming fears, where I talked about stage fright. I will link that in the description of this video. So please watch that when you get a moment. And please come back. I promise I'm going to be more consistent at uploading videos on the schedule. That is one of the goals that I set for myself for this year. And I'm trying. I'm human, but I'm trying. I thank you guys for watching. And of course, I got to put the paparazzi plug in. Go to www.curvygems.com. Take a look around. See what you can see that you might like that will accessorize your life. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Peace out.